going on back here? Hey everybody, how's it going? Thought it was about time to do part 2 of that Q&A that we were doing the other day. I discovered that an easier way of doing Q&As is to just get you guys to ask me questions on Instagram. If you have Instagram and you're not following me yet, this is my name here. And in the future, if I'm going to film a Q&A again, I'll just ask you guys questions on there. It's nice and easy and it's really fun. If you don't have Instagram, you still can go to my website. By the way, my website address has changed. I'm pretty excited about that. I finally, after like 3 years, managed to get itsblackfriday.com. Yes! If you don't have Instagram and you'd like to ask a question for a future Q&A, just go to my website, click the contact tab, and there's a form you can fill out and you just select Q&A as your subject matter. Anyway, so I asked you guys the other day to send me some questions and you really came through. I wish I could answer all of them and I feel really bad that I can't get through all of them or else these videos would be incredibly long. I don't know, how do you feel about longer videos? I try to keep mine sort of short and sweet, but I know that some people make like 20-30 minute videos, which I personally think is much too long. What do you think? Should I do longer videos like Q&As in the future so I can get more stuff in? So yeah, you guys sent me so many good questions. I wasn't able to get through all of them and I'm not going to be able to get through all of them this time. I'm going to do my best to answer some more. That's a nice one. Broken Small Bean asks, most awkward moment in public. Normally I would say I don't know because I've never really done anything particularly stupid in public or anything embarrassing. Except for a few months ago when I was in Amsterdam and someone like slipped me drugs and I was alone in the train station when the world just fucking fell to pieces. Yeah, I did make a whole video about that called Someone Slipped Me Drugs. Inside my head I was living in a world of pure terror, but from the outside I must have just looked like such a fucking munter. Like I must have looked so stupid, the sort of ruffled version of myself carrying around large bags, like crying and shaking and holding hands with strangers, and like I couldn't eat or drink. I must have just looked like such a complete wreck, so that was pretty awkward. Sky Dalton says, have you ever thought about not being goth at all? No. It's funny when people ask me things like that, you know, have you thought that maybe you'll give it up one day, or do you ever take a day off? No. And I could ask the same question to anybody, like, do you ever think that you'll stop being you, that you'll stop liking all the stuff that you like, that you're going to have a massive personality overhaul? But no, like if I think of not looking like me and not having my lifestyle and stuff, then I would just be a completely different person. So no, I don't think about what it would be like to not be. Salador Sweetheart says, how do you suggest dressing goth in a professional setting? Any examples of what you would wear? Google corporate goth, right? That's a really good way to weave your style into like a professional or office setting. For men, like a black suit with black shirt, maybe like a red tie or a purple tie or something. That looks really cool. For women, like a pencil skirt, blazer, blouse, you know, the kind of things that people usually wear to the office, but black. Google corporate goth and you might be able to find some examples, because I think that's something that a lot of people would really try to enjoy weaving into their professional lifestyle. Kelbog said, I just got married today. Could you let me know how you adjusted to married life? I'm a little nervous. Well, first of all, congratulations. That's completely wonderful and I'm so happy for you. My wedding was really rushed, so it still doesn't really feel like we're married. I don't think anything really changes except that it's kind of like official, really. If you're a guy, most of the time nothing changes. If you're a woman, maybe your surname will change and you get to call yourself Mrs. Otherwise, I guess everything's sort of the same as before, just carry on as before. Grace176, do people ever stare at you and has anyone ever offended you? And any tips for dressing more goth? As far as like style tips, that's for another time because that's its own video. Do people ever stare at me? All the time. Pretty much everybody stares at me when I go anywhere, but I don't really care. I'm so used to it now. If they didn't stare at me, I would feel like I'd vanished. It's pretty hard to offend me. Someone would have to say something quite nasty, but I get so many like shitty, stupid comments from people all the time out in the world. I don't care. It's easy to say, I don't care what people say, I don't care what people think, but no, I genuinely don't fucking care. If people are rude to me in public, like, they're the one with the problem. They're the one being rude to a stranger. Sophie Mooney asks, what's your favorite book? Maybe my favorite is not one book, but 5. If you are familiar with the trilogy in 5 pieces, being the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy from Douglas Adams, I think that might be my favorite. If you haven't read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, please do. It's so fucking funny. I've read the books, I've listened to it on audiobook, I've listened to the radio show, I've watched the TV show. I listened to the audiobook of Hitchhiker's Guide while I was picking fruit in an orchard. I'd be out working with headphones on and people must have thought that I was completely insane because I would just burst out laughing at random into the silence. Cryptolite asks, what do you think about the fact that there will probably be a Beetlejuice sequel? I feel like it's one of those things that doesn't need to be touched. It shouldn't be touched. Beetlejuice is a classic. As a child, Beetlejuice was one of my favorite movies. Ask my mum, I must have watched it so many times. These days I have it on DVD, but forever I just had this copy of Beetlejuice that I'd recorded off the TV in 1996. So it's got all these like old ads through it. But yeah, I watched it over and over and over and over again when I was a child. Anyway, sequel, I feel like they just don't need to make one. I think it's kind of a cool and exciting idea, and obviously if they make one, I'm definitely gonna go and see it. Don't give classics sequels. It's almost never a good idea. I don't know, I think they just shouldn't make one, you know. Oh, how do I pronounce your name? Victoria Kiedis? Are you gonna do another transformation video soon? I love you so much, by the way. Ah, love you back. Yes, I am. I have a plan for my next transformation video. Something a wee bit different. I'm looking forward to doing it. Izzy Lock, ice cream or frozen yogurt? I can't decide those two things. Come on, I love frozen yogurt, but I love ice cream. Can't decide. Sorry. Hey now, Brown Cow says, where did you shop when you first started being your awesome goth self before you could afford all the high-end stores? We broke college kids and everyone else want tips. Pretty much my entire life since I've been able to buy clothes for myself, I just bought stuff from second-hand shops. I know everyone says that. They're like, go to op shops, go to thrift stores, but that's what I did. I bought most of my clothes from like the same second-hand store because it was massive and I always found stuff there, and I would just buy things and like customize them. Like I'd buy shoes there or something and then I'd like put studs in them to make them cool, or even just your average mainstream kind of shop will often have like cool stuff that you can, you know, it's not necessarily what the thing is, it's how you wear it, who you are, and blah blah blah. But if you're looking for really cheap stuff that's like under $10 or under $5 for a garment, yeah, just go to a second-hand shop and see what you can find. And if you can, customize stuff. Alexander7282, how is it going with your German classes? I haven't taken a language class for quite a long time because my course ended, but in the next few months I will be taking another one. I'm legally required to do so, but not just because of that, but I actually really want to because of all the things that I've done to try and learn German quickly. Actually going to a class at a course is definitely the most helpful way to learn the language. Crystal Rutzen, would you ever consider getting a nape piercing? So like a piercing on the back of the neck? No, I wouldn't. I feel like that would be really, really hard to keep clean, and I don't think anyone would really see it. Like I can feel, I can just imagine it being irritated by all the necklaces I put on, so no. Stress in a human suit, that is an awesome username. How do you keep your eyebrows on all day? Well, like they don't come off. Just, I use liquid eyeliner for my eyebrows. I think if you can find a liquid eyeliner that's kind of flexible, like has some elasticity, that when you're moving your face around that it doesn't flake or something. Plus I put on makeup setting spray, which helps keep everything in place. I feel like if you use pencil eyeliner or something, it's a lot more likely to come off. Butini, will you be at Wave Gothic Treff in 2017? Someone would have to physically and violently restrain me to prevent me from going. Yes, I will be there. Alicia Johnson says, who created your goth asymmetrical fringe? I love it. Oh, thank you. I didn't know what to do with my fringe and I wanted to try something a bit different, do an experiment, so I just like cut it diagonal. I don't really know. I always cut my own hair, that's why it always looks a bit crap, but I don't know, what do we think of the diagonal fringe? It needs a bit of a tidy up, but yes, no, something else. A lot of you on here are asking me at what age did I start dressing the way I do now. I've said it before, but like I went to a school with a uniform. It was a very, very strict school and I was there until I was like 15 or 16. You weren't allowed to dye your hair, you weren't allowed to have your hair out, you weren't allowed to wear makeup or jewelry, have anything pierced, you weren't even allowed to wear like hair product or something like that. Everything was regulation, everything had to be tucked in, you had to look and act a certain way in public. Like it's For a lot of people, it's one of the strictest schools they've heard of. I got my first proper job when I was 16, and mostly I was using the money to pay for myself to get drumming lessons because I really wanted to start learning drums at that time. After a while, I was able to like buy a few of my own clothes and stuff. I didn't actually get to start like visually expressing myself for quite a long time, unfortunately. Yeah, not until my late teens, sadly. I've always been the same person, even when I was like, I guess I was about 3 years old when I first developed an obsession with vampires, and when I was very small I used to beg my dad to take me hunting for animal bones on his farm. So yeah, always been a bit morbid. Dead honeybee, any tips on growing out an undercut? I know you had a side shave, but it has since fashionably and mysteriously disappeared. What's your secret? It did mysteriously disappear, didn't it? How did I do it? I'm not sure really what you could do with an undercut. I think you just have to find a way to style the rest of your hair over it, which is what I did. Actually, you can kind of see that there are some random like short bits of hair where I had shaved it, and in that time it's like grown that long. So yeah, like this side of my head is like that long. When I decided that it didn't look good, it was actually pretty hard to style my hair kind of over the shaved part so that you couldn't see that there was like randomly like no hair underneath. I guess it's gonna be awkward really no matter what you do trying to grow your hair out from having shaved it. All I can say, and from what I did, is that just try to find a way to style the rest of your hair over it until it grows out enough. Maru! One of the cutest cuties in the whole wide world. How do you make your makeup stay all day in the summer? Well, like I said before, I use a lot of makeup setting spray. It really is a godsend. It makes such a big difference. I haven't tried many different brands of makeup setting spray, but I really love like the NYX matte finish setting spray, and also like the Urban Decay one, a bit more expensive, but it's absolutely the bomb diggity. It's really good in summer for when your face is trying to sweat your makeup off. Yeah, makeup on, then immediately setting spray, dry it, good to go. The Goblin Queen. Hello there, beautiful lady. Will you be at Mira Luna this year? Brady and I will be. Ah, that's awesome. Can't wait to see you. Yes, I will definitely be at Mira Luna. I will be there. I will probably be arranging like a meet and greet or something at Mira Luna as well for anyone else who's going to be there. Definitely going. One of my favorite festivals. Never want to miss the game. And while I'm at it, I should mention that soon, keep an eye out, I will be giving away a couple of tickets for Mira Luna. Yes, I will be there, and hopefully as many of you who are able to come will also be there because it's so much fun. Misaki Model asks, do you have any makeup primers, face/eyelid? I've never used a proper eyeshadow primer. I really want to. I wish that Urban Decay eye primer potion wasn't so bloody expensive because I really want to try that out. But I do have the Urban Decay, what's it called? Urban Decay Pore Perfecting Primer. That stuff's amazing. I've had this one little bottle for ages. Otherwise, I will use the NYX Pore Filler. That makes quite a nice primer. If anyone knows of any like nice, good primers who aren't monstrously expensive, please let us know. Ah, that's a good question. Click Pop. I love it when you interview people. Would you ever consider doing more interviews? Actually, that is something I want to do. I really want to try interviewing some people this year. I don't know how well it'll work out, but I do want to try to actually organize some proper interviews this year. So again, stay tuned. Umbra Cheshire asks, skincare products? Also, why do you talk so sweet and calming? It always makes me give you my entire attention even if the video is 3 hours long. Oh, thank you. I never really thought about it, but people often comment and say that I have a soothing voice, which is nice. I'm glad that I apparently have a soothing voice. Anyway, skincare products. The thing that I use the most often is something that I made a video about a long time ago, which is like a homemade sugar scrub thing. Sugar, extra virgin olive oil, honey, sometimes lemon juice. I use that most of the time. I don't really use anything else. Although in the last couple of weeks, I decided to try like a green tea collagen moisturizer, which is actually quite nice. Plus like an eye cream. Yeah, I don't know. I often feel like a lot of skincare products are unnecessary, but yeah, I don't know. I like my little DIY scrub. Oh my god, the next question. Scaloose? Do you still use the skin lightening scrub you created a couple of years ago? Have you changed the formula? Your skin is beautiful. Oh, thank you very much. I must say, I am reasonably proud of my skin in the sense that I've gotten this far and I don't have any wrinkles or anything, and I don't really get spots very often. How do I pronounce this? AIDH 2004. What is your favorite dog breed and why? I love your videos, by the way. Thank you very much. I like huskies. I'm not really a dog person. I like cats a lot more, but I love big floofy huskies, and they have such beautiful eyes. Artificial flower heart, what kind of authors do you love or books? Yeah, I love funny books. I really like stuff that makes me laugh. Same with movies. I like to watch funny movies and funny TV shows. People would probably think that I would prefer horror or whatever, but I really like to watch and read and listen to funny stuff. I want to make myself feel happy. Teo Hardstart, you are now living in Germany for a long time. Do you prefer to live in Germany or in New Zealand? That's really difficult to say because there are real pros and cons to both. I think I like it here more. Like, I don't have any regrets moving to Germany. I think the only thing that's sad is like being away from my family and friends, and I've kind of managed to lose contact with just about everybody, but that's my own fault really. So I'm a little bit lonelier. I could really go into it a lot, but there are definitely like pros and cons, but for the most part it's better here so far. Light or static, have you ever met one of your idols? If yes, who and how was the experience? I've met a few famous people. I don't know if I've really met any of my idols. I think the most starstruck I've been when I actually got to meet someone I'm a big fan of was when I met Jimmy Carr, and I've seen him live 3 times. If you don't know who Jimmy Carr is, he's a comedian. He's very funny. The first 2 times I went to see his shows, I got to like shake his hand afterwards, and the first time I met him I just like completely forgot how to speak. He said something about my appearance and then was suggesting like, hey, there's a show on nearby that you might be really interested in, and I'm like, yeah. He wrote some stuff down for me, and yeah, I basically drifted out into the rain and didn't realize it was raining. I was so starstruck. I must have looked like such an idiot. Wow, really a lot of book questions, like what kind of books do I like? I like that. Books are important. Ivory Lilium, does the pale makeup you sometimes apply on your chest and neck stain your clothes? If yes, what's the best way to remove these stains? Yes, it does. It's very hard to put makeup on those places and not get it on the clothes. What I do is if I get it accidentally on my clothes is I'll just immediately take like a baby wipe or something and wipe it off, which usually works pretty well. Otherwise the stuff just comes out in the wash. How do I say this? Michaela the Ring. What was your planned career before you became popular on YouTube? I've never really known what I wanted to do, but I went to film school and got my certificate in film and television production, and I did like a master class in screenwriting, and I did like a VFX course and stuff. So basically I decided that I wanted to, okay, so my goal has always been to like publish a book and turn it into a movie. I figured that wasn't going to happen on its own, so I thought, okay, I'm going to have to learn how to make movies and TV shows. So I was gonna start like a small production company and start making music videos and short films and things and kind of work my way up from there, which I will probably still do. I mean, that is still my dream, so yeah, hopefully I will do that. I think that's all we have time for because the red fucking battery thing is flashing at me again. Yay! I guess that's a good chunk anyway. Once again, thank you guys so much for sending me your lovely questions. Absolutely wonderful. It's been very busy with our moving house process, but we finally got like a company that's going to move our shit for us, and this week we actually get to look at the apartment, so I will take you guys along when we go to look at the apartment for the first time. I haven't seen it, so that is later this week. If you have yet to do so, please hit the red button below and subscribe to my lovely channel and become one of us. Become one of us. Yeah, as always, take care of yourselves, be nice to each other, and I'll see you next time. Bye.